Are you serious? Are you serious? Dust storms on Titan. That's right, Titan, the moon of Saturn. In many ways, Satan's largest moon. They got several moons around Saturn, but Saturn's largest moon is Titan, and it's incredible, the dust storm that's on there right now. Remember that dust storm that encompassed all of Mars? Well, now there's a massive dust storm on Titan, which is the largest moon of Saturn. What's causing this? Is it Planet X? Is it Nibiru? Is it planet number 9? Well, in many ways, Saturn's moon Titan is very uncanny. It's very similar to Earth. It has lakes, it has seas, it has beaches, it has thick atmosphere, it rains, it has rainy seasons. And yesterday, researchers are reporting that the journal Nature Geoscience has added one more item to the list: dust storms, huge dust storms. And this is very rare occurrence. Matter of fact, the research team led by French astronomer Sebastien Rodriguez found these storms in an infrared images taken by NASA's Cassini spacecraft 10 years ago. They were analyzing them. At first, the dust storms looked like maybe they were clouds, but using closer and more myopic view, they looked and revealed the true nature. Dust has raised from large dune fields around Titan's equator. Dust on Titan is very strange stuff. The research team believes it made not of fine-grained sand, but dust would be on the Earth. It wouldn't be from that. Instead, Titan's dust is organic, formed when organic molecules in a methane-rich atmosphere grow large enough to fall to the ground. These gusty winds will then pick those organic particles back up and blow them in a choking clouds around the equator of that moon of Titan. Some of the dust storms that was observed were so massive they could only be lifted by very strong winds. This suggests then that their underlying sand can be set in motion too, and that the giant dunes covering Titan's equator regions are still active and continually changing. So Titan has an atmosphere similar to Earth, has water, has beaches, has lakes, but has these dust particles from the methane gas. I mean, it's really strange. What a weird looking situation. But, God is amazing, isn't he? God created it all. I mean, he created the heavens and the earth and the stars and all the planets and the moons and the asteroids and the meteorites and the comets. And I mean, are you serious? It's just amazing. But let me just say something. God also created, if it exists, Planet X or Nibiru. And if David Meade is correct, then the emergence of Planet X in October, which I'm starting to think this could be Shocktober, could bring about the apocalypse. That's what David Meade is saying. He said, he told us last January when I interviewed him that in the summer, he said, there would be tremendous hurricanes. There would be volcanic eruptions. The earth would reel to and fro with massive earthquakes, and that we would come closer to an apocalyptic situation in October. He said, because Planet X would become so close to our solar system that the gravitational pull would be something we haven't felt in about 26,000 years. Now, Mike from around the world, I interviewed him a month ago. He told us to keep a close eye on October 25th, because that is when NASA is actually going to be monitoring the waves of energy. And remember, it was Mike from around the world 5 years ago that told us on our live broadcast there was 5 waves of energy. And 2 of those waves have already inundated the earth. But this third one is much, much bigger. Is it coming in October? Is David Meade and Mike from around the world, are they speaking the same language? And if so, is that why the volcanoes erupted on the big island of Hawaii? Is that why the dust storms consumed Mars? Is that why dust is now destroying Titan? What's going on here? Is something biblical going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ? Well, let me tell you what Jesus said in Luke 21, verse 25 through 28. Jesus said, "For there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity." Well, what do you think's going on at the United Nations right now? Are you serious? Look at the Middle East. Look at Syria. Look at Russia. Look at Israel. Look at Iran. But wait a minute. North Korea, China. Look at Washington. So let's go back to that verse. For in the last days, it says in Luke 21:25, "For there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity, the sea, the waves, roaring, and men's hearts would fail them for fear, for looking after those things coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory." When these things begin to come to pass, he said, "Look up, lift up your head, for your redemption is drawing nigh." Are you saved? Are you serious? Are you seriously serious? I mean, I'm not being delirious. I'm not even furious, but I am very serious. We're in the end times. Don't miss tonight's live broadcast. Starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 o'clock tonight, live from this right here in West Lafayette, Indiana, in the Salvation Station. And check out my Patreon channel right now, because I just did a video this morning on can they bring the dead back to life? And I'm talking about by rebooting the brain. It's a fascinating report.